Good morning. Still morning where we are. It's 11:22, so not quite noon yet. It's Dr. David Morris with Magnolia Medical here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We are Middle Tennessee's largest and most comprehensive true health center. Hope you guys enjoy watching some of our videos. So I wanted to talk about some new information that has come out about canola oil. This one's a little bit unfortunate because so many of you that watch the videos that I make are truly trying to be healthy and make good, healthy decisions. I totally commend you for that and appreciate that that is part of your life and your mission. Hi, Lisa. So if you're trying to be healthy, a lot of times people are going to opt for canola oil over other oils because they are told that they have no trans fatty acids. As it turns out, that is grossly untrue. Really surprising that it's something that we've even recommended in the past to people as an option over, the corn oils and these other things. So, but canola oil, when I read this, I was like, of course, why didn't I think of this before? But there's no canola plant, folks. There's no canola plant, so there's no canola oil. Canola oil is a manufactured oil. So people are using canola oil for their cooking. And many people choose mayonnaise, salad dressings, baking goods, other processed things that contain canola oil because they feel like that's better for them. It is not, and I want to tell you why. Everybody's getting on this no trans fatty acids kick, which is amazing because trans fatty acids are horrible for us. But when you think that canola oil has none, you're going to be wrong. And so I'm going to read this to you here. So we were told it's going to be healthier than soybean oil, cottonseed oil, safflower, or corn oil, but it isn't. So it actually has higher levels of trans fatty acids than those other things. And here's why. So it has a higher level of omega-3s, but those omega-3s have been processed and changed. So when you take an oil and you have to actually make it melted, or have to be a certain quality, a certain it has to be liquid at a certain temperature, it has to be a solid at a certain temperature, you can do things to change that. So canola oil depletes vitamin E, which impacts chronic diseases like heart, cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. It increases the rigidity of your cell membranes. It makes your cell membranes harder. And when they make it harder, it's much harder to get nutrients in and toxins out. So we need our cell membranes to be plastic. We need to be pliable. Canola oil increases cellular rigidity, the cell membrane rigidity. It has the potential to damage hearts, creating fibrosis, and impairs the action of vitamin E, which is crucial in handling inflammation. In human studies, it increases lung cancers as well as heart damage. And in animals studies, it shortens the lifespan of animals. And in others, it lowers the platelet count and increases the size of platelet cells, which makes it harder for clotting. So daily canola oil raises triglycerides 47%. Triglycerides going way up. These triglycerides means you're going to store them as fat, right? So triple fat triglyceride. So, and here's the rub, right? Here's why you're lied to. In 1985, the federal registration stated the FDA outlawed canola oil in infant formulas because it retarded growth. Okay, so it retarded growth. A quarter century ago, we knew that this was harmful for babies, but now it's suddenly okay for you to have it all the time, right? It's not true. So there's a lot of politics in the food industry. Obviously, the FDA is involved. Drug companies are even involved. They kind of own stock in each other. The drug and food companies own stock in each other. So the FDA have known about this for a quarter century. Harvard University said regulatory authorities have managed to ignore even warnings of Harvard School of Public Health that stated decades ago there are no safe levels of trans fatty acids. So you want to avoid canola oil. So I'm going to read this to you real quick. So in order to make a bottle last longer of canola oil, last longer on the shelf before it becomes rancid, and you also have to make it able to withstand high heat for cooking. You need to do over a dozen chemical processes to the canola to process canola into an oil so that it will not go rancid. Over a dozen chemical processes. Those processes include hydrogenation, which is how it becomes a trans fatty acid, and deodorization of the omega-3s in the oil. So anyway, so pass this along. I'm not trying to do these videos to scare you. Truly, I want you to have the information so you can take care of your body. Your body's your temple. It is your vessel you use to get around and on this planet. What happens to you in the afterlife, that is up to your behavior. And maybe how you treat others and whatnot, right? But how you get along in your body is highly dependent on how you treat it and what you put in between those two lips. And if you're putting in the wrong things, you're gonna be unhealthy. So we're talking about an increased risk of cancer, heart disease, lung problems, in children, reducing growth, right? Retarded growth. So what's that going to do to you? If you want your stem cells to repair your body quickly, you want your body to make new tissue. Don't you want those tissues to grow properly? You don't want to retard that growth. It's going to affect inflammation. It's going to make your cells more rigid. You want to not have canola oil. So the thing that I always ask is that you share these videos, hit that share button because other people might benefit from this information. Here at Magnolia Medical, our mission is to help people with chronic health problems. We do it with physical problems like arthritis and osteoarthritis and disc problems and shoulder and neck and low back, you name it. If it's a physical, like a musculoskeletal problem, we got you covered without drugs and surgery. From a chronic disease type of thing, like a thyroid problem or adrenals, heart problem, lung issues, digestive things, I have a functional medicine nurse practitioner that is amazing at helping uncover the underlying reasons why people have a health problem. I was working on myself over the weekend, doing trying to kind of make my thought process work better. You know, I want to be great. And one of the things I realized is that too many people are trying to cover up their health problems. So they have let's say you had a big pile of junk in the middle of your living room floor, right? And it's impacting the way you get around, like maybe it's just some rusty piece of something or other, right? It's just sitting in the middle of your living room floor and it's taking up your room and your space and everything. Too much of medicine is, hey, why don't we just cover up that problem? We'll just put a blanket over it. And funny enough, it doesn't actually make your life much better. You just don't see it anymore, right? So if we're going to get to the bottom of health problems, you got to remove those underlying impediments to health. That's what we do. If we can help you, let us know. You can send us a message here on Facebook. We get to them usually within a day. But even if you don't, even if there's nothing you think we can do to help you, we believe drugs and surgery are not the answer to most health problems, especially chronic health problems. You've never drugged a chronic health problem away. It's never happened. Nobody's ever given somebody medication to fix a chronic health problem. Infections are considered more of you can have a chronic infection where an antibiotic or something like that might help, but that's more of an acute problem, right? Nobody's medicated their way out of a heart problem. So we want to help people find the underlying reasons. Share this video so people can stop using the canola oil. I'm sure there's somebody in your life who's a foodie and they're like, I'm using the best thing to cook with. We should probably talk about what you should use, right? Let me make sure. Well, butter, right? Butter, use butter. Butter's great. Like they get the grass. Obviously, there's no grass-fed butter. Butter doesn't go out and feed on the grass, right? But butter from grass-fed cows, great stuff. Stuff that's not processed, like grapeseed oil, olive oil, coconut oil. If you look at it this way, what about the plastic bottles that these things are that these manufactured and altered and pre-cooked and chemicalized oils come in? They all come in plastic, which isn't good for you either. Get some oils that are in those dark glass bottles. Those are gonna be better for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, share it for me. I really appreciate that. Give us some little likes, and we really appreciate you. I'll come back later today. I'm going to try and do a couple of these videos a day to get more information out to everybody. I will see you next time. Michelle Soria, prevention is the key to staying healthy. 100% true. Candy, I don't use it. Yuck. Susan, I appreciate the comments. Anyway, really, really appreciate you guys giving me the comments. Love butter. Yeah, Candy, I love butter too, right? Butter's awesome. Do you know what they did? You know how they came up with margarine? You know how they came up with margarine? Get this, right? They had margarine. Without it being colored, they actually put a coloring in it to make it yellow so it looks like butter, right? And they put some flavoring in it. But they made margarine. It was a chemical. And they figured, oh man, we can give this to fatten up turkeys. All right, that's how they came up with margarine. The funny thing is that turkeys wouldn't eat it. And they're like, what do we do with this stuff? And so they put some flavoring in it and made it taste like butter. And they marketed it to us. I remember being a kid and they're like, you know, you had margarine commercials all the time. Butter's not good for you. Even as a kid, I remember this. Butter's so great for you. You should eat as much butter as you want, all right? Now, that's not medical advice here, okay? I'm not allowed to do that on the internet. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Take care.